You can track mileage for your vehicles in QuickBooks so that you have a record of your vehicle's mileage for tax purposes. You can also assign mileage to a specific customer job so that you can bill the customer for the mileage. There are some limitations to the use of this data, however. You cannot use the data to reimburse employees or vendors for mileage. You also cannot track specific vehicle expenses like tolls paid, gas, and other types of expenses. You can work around this by simply entering these charges as a bill, which can be charged to the customer. Also, vehicle mileage information from Quicken will not be imported into QuickBooks. Generally, you can use either the standard mileage rate or the actual expenses for calculating vehicle mileage expenses. You should consult with your tax advisor or the IRS to determine which method you should use, if any. To enter vehicle mileage, select Company from the menu bar, and then choose the Enter Vehicle Mileage command. This will launch the Enter Vehicle Mileage window. Use the Vehicle drop-down at the top of the window to select for which vehicle you will be entering mileage. You can also type a new vehicle description into this field and then use the Quick Add feature to quickly add the vehicle to your vehicle list. Note that you can click the Vehicle List button in the toolbar at the top of the Enter Vehicle Mileage window to open the list of vehicles if you would like to enter a detailed description about the vehicles used by your company. Next, use the Trip Start Date and Trip End Date calendar drop-downs to input the start date and end date of the trip that you're recording. Then input the odometer start and odometer end values into the boxes provided. That will then fill in the total miles by subtracting the two values. You may also simply type the total miles of the trip into the total miles box if needed. If you want to assign the miles to a specific customer or job, then check the Billable checkbox in the upper right corner of the window, and then use the Customer Job drop-down to select which customer or job to assign the mileage. You can then use the Item drop-down to select your mileage item from the item list. If you are going to be reimbursed for mileage by the customer, you will need to create a mileage item as an other charge or service type item within the item list so that you can use it to collect the mileage amounts in an invoice at a later point in time. Now, after entering the mileage, feel free to enter any additional notes into the Notes field and then click the Save and Close button when you're finished. Also note the Mileage Rates button that appears at the top of the Enter Vehicle Mileage window. If you click this button, you'll be presented with the Mileage Rates dialog box. Here you can input the most recent effective date of the federal mileage rate in the column available. You can also set the rate in the Adjacent Rate column. You should check with the IRS for any effective rate changes and make sure that you keep this information current. Just click the Close button when you're finished entering the mileage rates.